Alright, so I'm gonna describe to you guys some of the misleading things about food labels and maybe tell you a little bit more about them that you didn't know or things to look out for. So I got a bag of chips here with a nice big food label that of course you can't really read, but I'm just gonna go over some of the things and maybe point out some of the things that might be misleading. The first thing you see here under nutrition facts, which is what you should always look at before you get something, before you start eating it. You got serving size, which according to this is 1 ounce, and it also tells you the grams and how many chips that is. It's about 10 chips, and most of us eat more than 10 chips whenever we get it out. So we got to take that into account, that's 1 serving, and this is all tailored to 1 serving. So if you're eating more than 10 chips, you're eating 20, 30 chips, that's 2, 3 servings. So you got to keep that in mind. Servings per container, about 24. That gives you an idea. If there are 24 servings within this, that's a lot, and you should basically look after what you're eating. Calories, 140. Once again, that seems like a small number, but when you're eating a lot of chips, that adds up. Calories from fat is another important thing because there are 2 types of calories. There are calories that basically give you energy, which you need to live, so it's good to have calories. But then there are calories from fat, which you don't need as much of. You got total fat, which is 6 grams. And total fat, although we think of fat as bad, you do need some fat in your diet. It gives you the daily percentage value of how much fat you're supposed to have, and it's good for you. What isn't good for you is saturated fat and trans fat. Both of those can be unhealthy for your heart, and you don't want to eat you want to avoid as much of that as you can. Another thing that you definitely want to avoid, we hear about all the time, heart disease, things that are really bad for us and cause bad heart health. Cholesterol. Cholesterol can cause really big issues in the future. So you want to try to avoid as much cholesterol as you can at all costs. Your body produces it naturally. You don't really need to consume that much of it. Sodium. Sodium's good. I mean, you need sodium. It's one of the things you need. But what's misleading, it's not in the case of this, but usually things that we have, because they're preservatives and stuff, have huge amounts of sodium. You need to keep that to a minimum. Keep an eye on your serving size, because every time, right now it's only 80 milligrams of sodium, but you eat 30 chips, that's like 2,400 240 milligrams, and that's a lot. You want to avoid that because it can cause blood pressure problems and all types of things in the future. Total carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are what give you your energy. They're your quick energy, and they're good, and you need them. But once again, you want to keep an eye on it. You don't want to exceed the daily amount because you're not paying attention to the serving size. Dietary fiber. Get as much of this as you can. I mean, fiber is not a bad thing. It's great. You should have as much of it as you possibly can. It'll make you really healthy. Sugars, that's a big one. In this, not a big deal because they're chips. But in other things, there's lots of sugar. And once again, if you double up on the servings, that's doubling the sugar. You got to keep an eye on that. And last up is protein. Protein, I mean, it's good for you. It's one of those things that you do need, but you don't want to go over on. It's a big deal, and once again, pay attention. Know how much you're getting. Multiply everything by however many servings you're having. Don't just think that if you grab a handful, if you grab this large amount, that's going to be 1 serving, because it's most likely not, because we tend to eat more than 1 serving. So, keep that into account and just don't exceed it. So, good luck with reading your food labels, guys. I'm Anthony Serifsoy.